Hey guys, Nicolas here, back to another video, and welcome back to another episode of the DC Film Review Retrospective. Today's DC Film Review we'll be reviewing is Justice League, voted as one of the worst DC movies of all time. The movie began after the success of Batman vs Superman, BVS, after the success of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and with the minor cameos cameos such as The Flash, Aquaman, and so much others. Warner Brothers wanted to make something that could be better than Justice League. And before Zack Snyder got into the director's chair to direct Justice League, there was a Justice League movie called Justice League Mortal, in which it was going to be directed by Mad Max director, but that unfortunately got scrapped, mainly because of how Marvel was setting up its cinematic universe, and they wanted to try something a bit different. And with the success of the MCU, well, you know the rest. But anyways, the filming process began. Right away, but this time Warner Brothers was a bit restrictive mainly after the reactions from Man of Steel and BVS, and wanted to make this movie more lighthearted for kids. Overall, filming was doing very well, and everything seems to be going fine for Snyder, but then tragedy struck when he had to leave post-production of Justice League due to his daughter's death. And so, he was replaced by none other than Joss Whedon. Josh continued and finished filming, and there was a go. And even so, with Henry Cavill, who was going to be playing a Mission Impossible character in the upcoming Mission Impossible movie, the new one at the time, where he didn't want to shave his mustache for playing that character, so they ended up using CGI. And so production was a mess. They were rushing more, and then the movie got made and released in theaters in 2017, where it was both a critical and a financial failure. And this caused Warner Brothers to make other DC movies both in and outside of the DC extended universe. And after the film's release, there was a trend known as #release the Snyder Cut, as they wanted to see Snyder's version of his film, his true version of this movie, instead of the theatrical cut. And years later, finally, in 2020, we finally got our wish. But we'll get to that later. But anyways, what do I think about that? Well, let's get into the plot. Taking place sometime after the events of BVS, where we get to focus on Batman, played by Ben Affleck once again, as he is assembling a team of heroes. Man, does that sound familiar? Yeah, it does sound familiar. But anyways, he's trying to assemble a team of heroes, kind of like the Avengers, and finds out that there are parademons somewhere around Earth. Parademons are basically minions of Darkseid in the comics, and are minions from Apocalypse. He finds heroes such as Aquaman, played by Jason Momoa. And this Aquaman is way badass than he is in his comic book counterpart. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is badass in some of the comics, but he's way more badass than he is. Later, we cut to Wonder Woman stopping a bank, and she stops the bank on time and gets rid of the bomb before it explodes. We then later get to see Barry Allen, aka The Flash, going in to visit his dad from prison, as he was being framed for a crime that he did not commit. Later, this version of Barry Allen, aka The Flash, played by Ezra Miller. We even get to see Victor Stone, aka Cyborg, who basically got into a terrible accident and somewhat of a football field or something like that in a lab experiment. And later afterwards, his father resurrected him, but he did not really like the resurrection and started to get mad at his father. Cyborg, played by Ray Fisher. Meanwhile, on the island of Themyscira, we get to see about the mother boxes being activated, and get to see Steppenwolf coming out of somewhat of a portal. And Steppenwolf gets to slaughter some of the Amazonians, and the queen of the Amazons, Diana's mother, sends Diana the signal with the arrow into the temple. And meanwhile, when Diana is working at an art museum, she sees this signal, and she goes in deep further into it. She tells Bruce about the infamous fight of Steppenwolf and Steppenwolf versus versus the other old heroes like the Green Lanterns, the Green Lanterns, Green Lanterns, the Champions, the Amazonians, the humans, etc. Some of the people, including Dr. Stone and some others, have been gone missing and been kidnapped by parademons, or as you want to call them. But anyways, after all that, Batman assembles a team to find them, and he gets called by Commissioner Gordon. He talks to Commissioner Gordon, and then they disappear, except for Flash. But yeah, he catches up later though. Batman tries to figure out a plan until they ambush Steppenwolf. They were fighting the good fight, but then Steppenwolf got away. Steppenwolf would later invade like somewhat of a foreign Russian country. I believe Russian country. Well, we'll get into that later, but in the meantime, before they got there, the Justice League would decide to resurrect Superman, although Diana would think that it was a bad idea because of the events that happened in BBS with Lex Luthor regenerating General Zod as a zombie, aka Doomsday. So they brought back Superman in the dumbest way possible, and a long fight scene, well, shorter, but yeah. And later, the Justice League just decided to, you know what, let's just go and save this country and stop Steppenwolf from what he's doing with the mother boxes. So they stopped Steppenwolf with the mother boxes. Superman comes in, blah blah blah, and there you go. The movie ends with the Justice League having a good note as credits roll to a post-credit scene where we see Lex Luthor out of Arkham Asylum, or out of prison, and seeing none other than Deathstroke. The end. The positives I have with this movie is that overall, I thought the movie was overall, it's just the costume designs, I thought they were pretty good and all that. The costume designs, they were pretty amazing, and there were some moments that it does feel awesome at moments, and how it was being badass at some moments, like Aquaman or Steppenwolf, etc. But other words, yeah, that's all I got for positives. Oh man, where do I begin? Well, this is a pretty bad movie. It's probably way worse than Green Lantern or Batman and Robin or Suicide Squad or BBS. Way worse than BBS and Suicide Squad. But anyways, yeah, the way about how they treated the heroes is executed very poorly, and the way about how they execute this movie is very poor, and it's just basically a copy and ripoff of the MCU, basically being a copy and a ripoff of the Avengers. It tries not to be, but it simply fails, and just simply is another copy of the Avengers. And plus, it's obvious because of how Joss Whedon works. He thought, hey, we can reuse the same formula to work at this. Well, it didn't work. The CGI is pretty shitty. I mean, it looks like an unfinished video game, or it just looks like a video game, and it just feels like a Power Rangers movie with rushed CGI. Steppenwolf, on the other hand, looks like a boss battle from a video game. He looks like a video game character, like from Resident Evil or Silent Hill. It's pretty obvious that Warner Brothers decided to just rush this film out and interfere with Snyder's vision, just to rush it out to catch up with Marvel and to get ticket sales, or to get lots and lots of money trying to cash in with Marvel, in which this film bombed at the box office. With Thor Ragnarok, it was released around the same time as Thor Ragnarok, and it bombed. Meanwhile, Thor Ragnarok made a lot of money. The one thing I really wish that they could have done much better with the story is maybe make it try a bit more different from what we saw in the Avengers. Try something new with these characters. But no, they decided to just rip off the Avengers. And there were some moments that were pretty wasteful, like Superman's resurrection, which was pretty poor, and it was god-awful and didn't really make that much sense. And I really wish that we could have gotten more background on the characters like Aquaman, The Flash, and Cyborg. And even though Cyborg's origin story is pretty interesting, and we already know his origin story, but we don't get to see it that much, and I was really hoping to see it, but yeah, it's too late for that. Overall, Justice League is just basically a huge and complete utter mess, and it's just a huge and complete disappointment. The story is pretty bad. The characters, the characters, some are good, but the other times are pretty bad. It does have really fun action and really great costume designs, but at the same time, there are some designs that are pretty bad. The CGI is also pretty bad and weak and bland, and it's obvious that they rushed this movie to get it released on time to catch up with the MCU. Even after this movie, it cost a lot of people like Ray Fisher not wanting to play Cyborg anymore, Ben Affleck leaving the cape and cowl, and leaving Robert Pattinson to play Batman, and not only that, Jared Leto leaving the DC extended universe, and he was replaced with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, but in a different continuity. And I give Justice League, I give Justice League 1 star and a Nicholas Poquello thumbs down. And it is by far the worst. Don't watch this by any means. I mean, if you were a guy who was looking for action, then I suggest you watch it. But yeah, on the other hand, if you want to watch a better version of the Justice League, then watch Justice League the animated series or Justice League Unlimited, because they did a much better job than what they did with this. On the other hand, I cannot wait to watch the Snyder Cut when it gets released. When it gets released next week on HBO Max, as the time of this recording, I cannot wait to see this. As finally, Warner Brothers is finally giving what the fans wanted. They listened to the fans, and now they are finally giving them what they wanted. So, congratulations, Warner Brothers! Thank you for releasing Snyder's version of the Snyder Cut. But anyways, that's my Justice League. That's my Justice League review. What do you guys think about it? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm Nicolas Poquello. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment.